Underneath our feet is an earth whose surface is over 70% water, polluted water. You and I are also over 70% water, polluted water. The toxicity not only surrounds us, but is part of our bodies, embedded in our flesh. What is out is in, what is in is out. Every time we breathe, every time we drink a sip of water, and eventually pee it out. The water cycle dissolves and transports not only elements like carbon, nitrogen, and phosphorus, but also toxins manufactured by industry that regularly flush in and out of our bodies. Recently, I received a map of Canada's watersheds. Instead of 10 provinces and 2 territories, I saw 5 watersheds, draining to the Pacific Ocean, the Arctic Ocean, Hudson's Bay, the Atlantic Ocean, and the Gulf of Mexico. Instead of seeing the usual lines that governments have drawn, I saw the massive flow of water across the north part of the continent. You and I are part of that flow. Learning and respecting this flow is knowledge we need for long-term survival. Poets, ceramicists, artists, writers make our homes in watersheds, not just cities. And like that cat, scratching the walls for its life, we make marks that show our desire to survive. I am haunted by the image of that oil spill. As you know, I come from Alberta, the land of oil and water, as Warren Carrier's film calls it. In the Alberta tar sands, making 1 barrel of oil poisons roughly 4 barrels of water. The wastewater held in huge tailings ponds are so toxic they immediately killed hundreds of migrating ducks who flew into the ponds. The wide open ponds are the size of a city, and as they leak, they continue to kill humans and non-humans. The cancer rates of nearby indigenous communities have skyrocketed because of the pollution. The Alberta tar sands must slow down and stop. How to make this happen? You ask another good question, a hard question. What are you willing to risk?
Here in the old pottery town of Valoris, I'm gingerly placing ceramic forms into a niche above this old private well in the cabinet. France is the second country in the world, just behind Italy, in their consumption of bottled water. Until the recent economic crunch, the French drank 130 liters of bottled water per person per year. What does one even do with a private well these days? Draw up a cup to boil for the morning coffee? I mean, how do you even know it's clean down there? Sure, it sounds romantic, just like old times. Lowering down a bucket, you watch it swing gently back and forth at the end of your rope. A bit of awkward submerging, then gulp and up it comes. Cool and clear, traditional, refreshing, your pure and private water. Drink your hearts out Perrier, Evian, Vittel, Volvic, and 200 more brands of bottled up French authenticity. The majority of plastic water bottles are manufactured from petroleum. How ironic to use oil to hold water. Today, a small section of my sculpture hit the metal grating and broke off. The part where, in the heat of the kiln firing, an oozing kiln post fused one of Dale's porcelain cups to my hand-pinched form. I heard it crack, watched it fall silently for several moments before breaking through the gleaming skin of black water. I can see something floating down there. From what I can tell of its shape and size, it looks like a handgun, but that couldn't possibly float. It could be an adult toy. water everywhere, and how do you know this isn't the ideal breeding ground for several types of dangerous mosquitoes?